Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Afron Framble, and today I'm going to do something a little differently. I feel like I say that every video, but I know I did an introductory video about music. This time, I want to go into a little bit of music practice. I want to show you some of how I practice, a couple of tips at the keyboard because I play the piano. I've played piano since I was 12 years old, and I'd just like to show you a couple of points, some tips on how to play a challenging piece, how to, and you can apply this to anything musically or anything that you find challenging. The point is to start with something you can handle or speed you can handle, and then speed it up, and then add different musical qualities along the way. I mean, expressive qualities. Or if you want to translate it to visual art, you can, I don't know, I guess you could practice uh, doing things that aren't as complicated, or try to do different exercises that will lead you up to the eventual result. They're a little bit different in terms of expression, because your art is your expression. When you paint something, you don't necessarily have to do it exactly like, if you're going for realism, it's great to try to make it as much as possible to the actual subject. But if you have an expressionist, or a way that you want to present something that is not necessarily hitting a certain goal, but you're using certain colors in a certain way, it's totally different. In At least with music, it's screwed up if somebody screws up a piece. I mean, at least with tonal music, I know with a lot of atonal or aleatoric music, it's hard to tell if somebody makes a mistake, but that's for a different reason. Anyway, I have seriously digressed. I will forewarn you, though I make no apologies, that I don't have the best setup. I'm trying some things out, so we'll see how it goes. So I have my little ramshackle setup here. Um, I don't. This is my room. I don't have like much lighting or anything. I don't even have a stand for my music. So, um, but that's kind of my point. With If you don't have a lot, you can um, you can still practice in whatever situation you find yourself in. I'm in an apartment. I don't have a grand piano or anything like that. I mean, my dream one day is to have a house and a baby grand and everything like that. I mean, at the rate it's going, probably not. But um, enough with my sob story. So one tip I wanted to share with piano playing, I struggled a lot with trying to find out how people play songs or perform songs to an expert level without making any mistakes. I know that a lot of concert pianists, maybe they do make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but a lot of times I think that's really, with a lot of people, that's the exception rather than the rule. A lot of times they can perform amazing pieces flawlessly. And I wanted to share a tip, um, which basically is, even if you're not ever going to play on a stage, even if you're not ever going to gonna you know play publicly, if you want to play and try to get better at playing and gain proficiency, what I always recommend is play it as slow as you can do it without making any mistakes. And I would say do one measure at a time, two measures at a time, maybe a line, whatever whatever you're capable of, and take that section, speed it up, and then add to it the next time. So I've been playing Final Fantasy VII piano collections, and I'm not gonna play a whole piece or anything because it's not. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I just wanted to play a portion just to kind of drive home a point. So even the first part, you just have three chords. And that part is it's very I would say it's easy to start off with chords that glissando like that. You start from the bottom and work your way up. until you get to a whole phrase like that. Um, and what I do is mark up your music. Always start from where you want to start and where you want to end, and stick to that so that you can get the piece up to speed. I am awful with that. I always want to just continue without trying to correct anything. But um, I mentioned start slow, so I'm going to pick a piece from here that I haven't played. This is going to be a real time view of what I'm talking about. And I know there's a particular piece here that I want to. Okay, so this is a very okay. It's not as fast as it sounds, and that sounds strange, but the Genova theme from Final Fantasy VII. Um, just glancing over it, I see that it's in D minor. At least it starts in D minor. There are some little tonal shifts in it, from what I remember from the game, and I've heard the piano version of this. Um, if I were to start from the beginning, and I could start from right hand separate from the left hand, I have right in the four first measures. I plan to play that line and then maybe play it over and over again because I think this repeats. Um, so if I were to start with the right hand, even just the right hand, to make mistakes and figure out, okay, this is how it's supposed to go. A lot of people, when they've played and played and played and they see the patterns, they're able to play it slowly without any mistakes. So if I were to start playing this, maybe I have to play it slower in order to not make any mistakes. And if I find some problem spots, I work on those a little bit. So I realize that um, the fifth note, there's a jump. And then I practice that and let my fingers remember it, um, have the muscle memory um, to do that. Now that phrase happens to repeat, so the whole thing is. And then I usually just play the next note. Um, so on the left hand, then I practice that apart from the right hand. And then it repeats. And I might make a note here, like where I would put the fingers in certain parts. So if I'm jumping up, I might cross under the thumb in a certain spot. And I know built into the music, it seems that repeated D is an opportunity to play with two different fingers. So trying to put this together, I'll do it even slower because, like I said, I'm by no means an expert sight reader or master pianist. So here goes. So I might go even slower than that, but here's the trick. I have a metronome right on my phone, and I usually start at a ridiculously slow speed. So I might pick, let's see how 40 sounds. 40 beats per minute. That might be a quarter note. So if I play that, so I'll start. So there you go. I might crash and burn. I might pick 4 notes at a time. So that first section I have down, right? And I've successfully done one round, but I'd have to practice that a couple of times before I start picking up speed. I might even slow it down even more, or um, I might even do, like, sometimes I'll go faster with the tempo, but I'll make it every beat or every eighth note. And then it happens to stop on that next note. I'm going to practice this through and speed it up. I'm not going to include the whole thing. I said real time, but I'm not going to include all of it because it'll take a long time. But I'll show you when I get to the finished product. And I usually increase it by 5 beats per minute. At this point, it should be twice as fast as this. You should go na da 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 da. So I'm at the halfway point. Let's keep going. So I'm at about at 90 beats per minute, and it's getting pretty tough. First of all, because I'm trying to do this quickly so that I can demonstrate it. But second of all, um, usually I'll do it. At this point, I'll probably do increase it by 2 beats per minute. Because I'm still making a lot of mistakes at this speed, so sometimes I'll pull it back a little bit and then bring it back up and speed it up. So bringing it back up to speed to the 90 beats per minute was successful. Um, Really, if you just pull back and then bring it back up again, it's fine. I turn the volume down a little bit so I don't bother the neighbors. I know a lot of people can relate that can't make a lot of noise if they live in an apartment. So let's continue. So at this point, stop that. At this point, I've noticed a potential problem part, which is I get through the first half of the phrase, and when I repeat the phrase, which is the next part of it, I get caught up a little bit. So I get to, and then it falls apart from there. So what I might do is I might actually drill that part a little bit so that I can hammer that out. Um, I'm at 116 right now, and I might just go to 120, but maybe not 140 because 140 should be. Let's see. Let's see how that'll sound. It might be a little bit too fast, just even. And it's always good to check in to see would it sound better a little bit slower than the original song. Like I think this version is meant to be played more not emotionally or dramatically, but more expressively. So um, there is an accent on the first note, and that is when you listen to the recording, they express it as a an emphasized note, even in length. So they may play it. They might not play it that dramatically, but that's sort of where we're going with this. And I haven't gotten to the point where I can play it fast enough to not make any mistakes, but that's the idea. So what I'll do at this point is I will try to play it without the metronome as to be able to play the expressive parts and elongate some of the parts that need to be elongated. So the and then maybe elaborate a little bit on some of the other parts because this is a piano piece and not a MIDI consistent um, tempo wise. It's not supposed to be rigid. So there you go. That's my best. I made one little mistake there, but that's I think my best at this point. Having done this for maybe I've started this portion of the video. It's about half an hour long without any cuts. So that's a nice, reasonable accomplishment for half an hour of playing. And anytime your piano teacher says practice 15 minutes a day, um, that sounds good if you want to maybe do half of of what we just did, if you've gotten to that level. Again, there's also the possibility that you could be um, going beyond your level, and if you feel like by half an hour you haven't been able to do a phrase like that um, well enough, you might want to pick an easier piece. In fact, I think this is actually over my head, but I still keep hitting my head against the wall to try to play it better, to just be able to play these pieces because I love this music, and I love all the Final Fantasy compilations, the piano collections. Um, so there are my tips for playing piano. If there are any piano players out there who see this. Thank you for watching. If you are learning an instrument or you're working on a project or you have something else that you'd like to share, please comment below and we can get a little discourse going if you like. And we can share tips and tricks for learning music, or we can, find a collaborative musical thing to do. I don't know. This channel is still very small at this point, so um, So yeah, the sky's the limit. I have a lot of time. So thank you for watching.